about it.
Okay, hi. I was going to start with a song again, but I can't think of one.
Wow.
Imagine
whack.
not being able to think of a song. That's
Like, High School Musical, obviously, just like straight into that.
you go.
We're breaking free.
Stunning. Thank you. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am also good.
Wow.
We did just record
Yeah.
an episode.
So if you want to know how we really are, listen to last week's because
Like,
we'll go in.
I don't want to just
Yeah.
But no, I'm good.
Okay.
Ish.
Good. All right.
No, I'm good.
good.
Yeah.
We have snacks this episode, so like elephant in the room. Point one is there might be some munching.
Not a snack.
Yeah.
Some crunch.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Point two, we have a second snack. Liz.
We do. We have a very special guest this week.
We do. Welcome, Liz. Did we decide?
We were going to say actor and comedian.
Yeah, and general iconic.
Iconic.
I mean, I would call myself a micro actor.
Okay.
You know how some
Love
people
that.
are like micro influencers, so I'm just, or micro comedian. Like, I'm a little bit of one.
I think that's being modest. You're hilarious.
Oh,
And that makes you a
accurate.
comedian, okay?
Yeah, that's that.
Well, that's what everybody struggles with, isn't it? You meet so many people. I'm an aspiring artist. I'm an aspiring actor. It's like, well, hold on a minute. Is it what you do every day? Yeah. Just say you're an actor then.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
It's
true.
Yeah, you're right.
I aspire to have like normal serotonin levels.
Oh man, me too.
That's my day job now.
Is
Okay?
that your job? My day job is to have regular brain chemicals.
Exactly. I had earlier today, I had a mental breakdown as I was gardening.
Oh wow.
And I ended up violently ripping trees out.
Oh.
I'm never violent. But I say violently ripping trees out. I mean, I was having a breakdown and ripping trees out. I dug myself into a hole. I'm not a violent person.
Did the trees need to be ripped out?
Yes.
Okay. Well then.
But they were like
productive, really.
being annoying. And I was like, this is so much work. And I have this much patience, which for listeners is little.
The background to this is Nick was supposed to be here at 2:30 and then did not get here until 4:30.
Oh, diva.
You could have lied and said like 2:45.
Oh, I'm not a liar. So
No, it was loose and fast with times, okay? It was not set. Well, it was set times.
All right, Mariah Carey.
What?
Oh, iconic.
I also expect
Goodness.
just a bowl of green M&Ms.
Wow.
That's my rider.
Oh, we should. I would have done that. Just throwing that out there, I would have made that happen.
Bless. But we have vegan cheese, and that's
Yeah, exactly.
the next
Perfect.
best thing.
Can I just say, I just want to thank you guys for quite quickly bringing me on to, like, introducing me to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, the longer it takes for me to sort of be formally introduced, I just feel like it's like, I don't know, if you look at two people at a party having a discussion, then there's a third person who's physically standing there.
Yeah.
But is not included. It's
Right.
just kind of smiling.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that now I'm part of it rather than just being like, these guys.
Yeah, honestly, it's always a bit awkward because we'll like tell a funny joke and the guest will try not to laugh, and it's like, okay,
It's like,
well,
no, you
can
can. We're not
laugh.
gonna like. Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna spank you if you don't. If you talk. It's like,
Yeah.
Just
So,
what? Yeah,
How are
go.
you, Liz?
Well, it's Monday, so obviously
that's
things
right.
can't get any better than this.
This is the highlight of the week.
Yeah, I've got. If I don't know if you see a video online, I've got my relaxed Hawaiian shirt on. So
It looks
Very
great.
calming. It's very
nothing
relaxing.
bad is ever going to happen when you wear. Oh, actually, no. Do you remember when Obama announced like drone strikes, but he was wearing beige suit?
Yeah,
Wow.
I do. That went Tumblr,
Yeah.
Tumblr generation.
Also, do you remember when beige suit was like the standard of what a bad president?
Yeah.
Or, like,
Oh,
this is-
God.
I long for those days again.
that's news. Ooh, Obama.
Wow.
No, we're very thankful that you're here.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Very excited to have you.
We are very excited to have you.
And I guess at a time of Thanksgiving as well. For
Oh, that's
our
true.
American
That's
friends.
true.
Wow, yeah.
I always forget that they have like a holiday before Christmas. But in
That's
between,
weird. Halloween.
And
Yeah.
it compartmentalizes everything quite easily.
It does.
You know, it makes sure that the Halloween stuff stays until X day, and
Yeah.
then Thanksgiving until X day, and then Christmas can be released. Whereas here,
It's November 1st, Christmas.
Oh, it's Christmas from September.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the Wild West.
Yeah.
Literally, I actually went into Kmart to get Halloween decorations, and it was Halloween decorations. Next to it was the Christmas decorations. I was like, it's the beginning of October. Let's
Yep.
tone it down a little.
Oh no! See, one of my worst personality traits, which I'm aware of, is that I will happily start shopping for Christmas in September.
Oh yeah. I love it too. But I mean, this is okay. It's now a therapy session.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
You can spot from a mile away that I grew up in a household where Mum was obviously very stressed around every Christmas time because the work falls on mums.
Yes.
They figured it out. So of course Christmas didn't seemingly
exception.
give her a lot of joy.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God, it's Christmas time again. So there was always a little bit of resistance to, can we put all of the fairy lights up? Can we have one of the fairy lights houses?
Yeah.
Can we put the tree up and everything? Because it was very stressful for her.
Yeah.
So of course, as an adult, you can spot my apartment from a mile away because it has fairy lights up all year round.
Yeah.
Literally
Love
all
that.
year on a timer from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every night. My balcony is lit up.
Perfect.
And
honestly.
any psychologist or psychiatrist will be like, yeah, that's like the easiest like
Yeah.
exam question.
Overcompensating. Yeah.
Do you add more for Christmas, or is it just like standard?
Strangely enough, I didn't. I added, so I've got a skeleton. Skelly.
Okay.
And if you follow me on
Love.
TikTok, I've got a Skelly who lives there. But I actually take him away for Halloween because
Interesting.
because I'm just always like out of respect because it's like
For his culture.
I know it's like he doesn't want to see everyone.
Appropriating his culture.
Yeah, for
exactly.
that one time of year.
Exactly.
So I take him, like, he doesn't have to see that.
Oh my God, that's
Protecting
the
his
funniest thing I've ever heard. I love that. Wait, so is he back up now?
He's back up now.
Wow.
Does he
love
get a
that.
Santa hat at Christmas?
He's currently wearing a Make Brisbane Great Again hat, and there's
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
but one of these days, like I want to do, because there's another skeleton across the road, and that other skeleton
I've seen
sometimes wears a sombrero and has like a poncho on it, and I was
Right.
like, it's so funny because the skeleton is, by virtue of being a skeleton, is a Halloween decoration.
Yeah.
They're like, but it's a Halloween decoration in a costume.
That's so funny.
I love it.
Oh wow, what a great start.
Okay, well, before we get into the your top 3 things,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your TikTok and stuff
Oh,
because you have an iconic TikTok, as
That's
I'm
true.
sure everyone knows. I specifically want to talk about your
the big one?
the one from the other week,
That-
the brunch one. You had to put out
A lot of fires?
yeah.
Wait, someone fill me in. I haven't spent much time
Okay.
on TikTok recently.
All right. So, a bunch of guys, I actually think they're German. A bunch of big, buff, tattooed guys have an account. And they're all white guys as well.
course.
Just because I mentioned that because since then I've had people being like, this is all a bunch of white people stuff. And I'm just like, totally get it. Cannot refute that. So they did, they made a TikTok and it was captioned, girls, I think Instagram stories at brunch. And and they each went around and they did sort of a cheeky little smile and a shoulder shipping.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And when I saw it, I'm like, is it the worst thing in the world? No. But I think it's kind of shitty. Because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
because if you drill down, what's funny about it? What's funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do drill down, I think it's funny because young women are cringe.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And what they like is cringy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something about them being all smiley.
Yeah. And being happy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just the most harmless thing.
Yeah, but there's something about it that's
Yeah, that aggravates that. Yeah.
Yeah.
lame or cringe.
Yeah.
This is my impression of little girls doing this. And thinking, by the way, I once spent a whole weekend filming a TikTok thing. It was about Bee Gees in Redcliffe. Very tiny a number of views. I spent 15 seconds doing a shitty little response to this. And it's always the low effort stuff.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. It's
the
crazy.
It's happened to both of us as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
You never predict it. So
But just
I
a quick
spend.
pause. A quick side note. Your Bee Gees videos.
You like that?
I was an avid watcher.
Oh, so was I
loved
actually.
it.
That was the first videos of yours
So
I watched.
funny.
If you want to join, I've decided that because I always thought that there was a Bee Gees statue, and then I learned that there are actually two, and I do want to start a campaign for a third. Like whenever they next announce like a COVID stimulus package for nurses or like hospitals, I'll be like, guys, third Bee Gees statue.
Iconic.
Yeah, sorry for the distraction.
But with that brunch video,
I'd sign it.
So 15 seconds, and I'm just there, and I'm being sarcastic, and I'm like, I'm going to tease them, and so my response is like, oh yeah, I hate that too.
Yeah.
It's they look at the camera. Yeah, exactly. Oh, annoying. And
I think now you're explaining. I think I might have actually seen this video, and I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
did too.
She's right
I was
on.
like, that's iconic. That's hilarious. Love.
oh man, but it was clearly a very upsetting moment for a lot of men in the world.
Insane. I was like, this is an objectively funny, harmless riff off their video. Like,
There's so many things to unpack. One of them was just the number of comments telling me to cry more, to not be so upset. Why are you so offended? It's like,
wasn't.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Is that the face of someone who's crying? I'm smiling. And then,
like the snowflake stuff, like the big snow. Yeah, okay.
Oh, snowflake triggered Karen. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Which is so fucking funny considering how upset they are about your video.
And then not only that, it's like, you don't have to find it funny. I totally get that if you don't find it funny, I mean, you're wrong. But it doesn't hurt me. I don't feel wronged if you don't find it funny. But what you can't do is deny that I was making a joke.
Yeah.
And tell me
Very
that
true.
I in fact wasn't making a joke, and I am in fact really mad. And I was like, just chill. Boys are making a joke. I made a joke. I also made a bit of a point because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And a lot of women were like, I get that as well. I feel you.
Yeah.
I felt the same way. So I was happy to leave up comments that disagreed with me, but in a way that didn't diagnose me with clinical anxiety, which was one of them. And the other one was like...
The audacity.
Yeah. There was a lot of physical stuff. A lot of physical... But in a way that didn't actually get to me because it didn't make sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
One of them was like... I can tell how quickly you become victimized based on your haircut. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? It would have hit me if you were like, your haircut is bad for this. But this like,
it's not like it's a Karen haircut or something.
I don't get it.
We'll call this the Liz.
The Liz, yeah. And then there was another one. Okay, explain this. This is the extent of the comment.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're Australian.
That's like that's good. I like that.
What does it mean, though?
Literally makes no sense, and I love it.
I'm sorry for perpetuating this stereotype of the Australian who takes things too seriously.
Like Australia. It's not even like an Australian stereotype to be sarcastic, is it? It's a British one.
Yeah, or that. I want to kind of reach out to this person, like, please get in touch.
Give me an essay on what the fuck you meant.
You're probably not Australian. Contact your local Australian embassy, please.
Yeah.
And let me know what that was.
Yeah.
That's so
Although I am
funny.
absolutely using that in common conversation now. If someone's like, why were you late? Of course you'd say that.
Of course
you're
you-
Australian.
Of course you're Australian. And then there was a lot of stuff about where guys were rejecting me, and I'm just like,
You mean like...
as in like, I can see why you're single. You're not going to get a boyfriend like that. I would never date you. And I'm just like, man, you're just... What is this set of circumstances you're creating wherein I am after you?
Right.
Yeah.
Why did they all take it as a personal fucking attack?
Like, even if...
It's really true.
Yeah, absolutely. And and this might be getting a little bit serious, and I apologize because I'm never serious.
No, we love
But
it.
I mean, there's all this stuff going on in TikTok, and I think people are noticing the way that bros. I'm not saying men, but a subset of men which are bros.
Yeah.
The way that they behave when they have the anonymity, which of course put me at a disadvantage if they wanted to pick fights with me, because I have to everything that I say and do is attached to my name, whereas they're attached to like
Chad,
like
55,
C something NT Destroyer 6940.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, we're kind of not.
It's not the legal name.
Yeah,
That's not on the birth certificate.
But if it is, send us the birth certificate. We'll verify.
Honestly, that's iconic if it is.
And it's like there's a bunch of bros who made the brunch video, and it went viral and it was well received, and it looks like they have a very big successful account. I don't know what all of these other little bros are doing. Like, why do they
little bros?
Why do they want to defend
These
these guys so much?
Yeah.
You made fun of one group of men specifically.
Yeah.
This account.
Yeah.
What the? Why is every straight white man who's like toxic?
Yeah. And
Taking it so personally.
there was some comments that said it was a really light-hearted joke that came from a place of love, and I'm like, are you this person's
daft?
psychologist? Because why would you be like, all they have is the same video that I looked like, and they said, and they're very happy to be like, that person's heart is gold. And they would have never hurt, I don't know them, but they would have never hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why?
White men defend no one like they defend other white men.
Oh, that's accurate.
But I try and focus on the good and the sense of camaraderie that I noticed in the comment section from all of like women and allies and people who are like, do better. And at the same time, have just a healthy approach to. I'm not triggered and mad. I'm unimpressed.
Yeah.
Oh, the comments that were like, so you woke up this morning and decided that the most important thing was to bring these down. I was like, how do you know what I did when I woke up?
It's also fucking TikTok.
I didn't wake up this morning.
A 15-second video.
Yeah. Literally, it's a social media platform. It's meant to be quick thing you do and forget about.
Oh, and
Truly.
people love to put you in if you throw shit at someone, like a creator on TikTok, if they don't respond to you, it's because you owned them, or even worse, like you pwned them,
right?
It's crickets because obviously you made such a good point that it silenced them. So if
you have no argument back.
If you don't respond, it's because they gotcha.
Yeah.
If you do respond, it's looks like I got you riled up.
Yeah, of course. It's like a no-wins. Yeah.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah. Oh, God. Wait, so how many times was it viewed? How many, is it?
It's now at the point where it's only going up by like 1 decimal place increments after 1.2 million. So the next time it'll change, it'll be 1.3 million. So maybe that in the coming weeks or so. So
that's
was
a lot though. Like that's a very significant amount of people to be correcting something at you.
Absolutely.
Can I ask if you know off the top of your head the likes? The amount of likes?
We can find out.
That's true. We can just find out.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to. I think
see how right you are.
It was 220,000.
That's a really good ratio of views to likes.
I actually heard that the other day, where you can be like, you can see a video that's gone viral, but then you realise that the likes are actually crazy low. So it's viral because people dislike it.
Yeah.
But how does TikTok know?
TikTok has.
I hate TikTok. I love
don't
TikTok.
even know how to.
I hate TikTok.
I want to know how the algorithm knows, like,
what
people don't like it, but also people want to see it and get angry, and so you should pump it out more.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have complained that when you respond to comments or when you engage, TikTok doesn't really discriminate between good engagement and bad engagement.
Yeah.
So it's like if you dislike someone and keep leaving comments and things like that, you're sort of telling the algorithm, "Oh,
I would like to communicate."
Yeah, I want to know that.
Okay, interesting.
It was 233,000.
200,000. Okay,
that's a good ratio.
Yeah, is it? Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm trying not to. There's such loud voices that can drain out.
Yeah.
Such. Yeah. And
And even the comments and stuff, the negative ones are the ones that are going to get attention from other people,
100%.
whether they're defending you or like agreeing with shitty takes and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
But no, I only brought it up because I needed you to know that was an objectively funny video.
It was, and you made a point.
Man,
I loved it. The best kind of
genuinely
comedy.
valid point.
Thank you.
And also, I just despise the fact that you even got hate for making such a video like that, and that you had to like make follow-up videos defending yourself on like the most.
I don't understand. It's like team men, team women. Probably not. We're not on teams.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not on the brunch guys. I'm not on their team. But at the same
They're objectively wrong. But
They surely have a team of soccer team or something.
Yeah. And I mean, on one final thought on that, I never once, because I'm not a really big player, heard anything or have seen any comments or engagement from that original creator or that group of guys. And I probably think that group of guys probably would be fine to chat with.
Yeah.
Probably because they're also creators, know that it's shitty to leave really hateful comments. And if they saw the comments, if those men in the brunch video saw the comments that other people were leaving in their defense, they would be like, oh, no, thank you.
yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
You got to realize that even the men that you're, tripping over to defend think that you're
Probably
a bit out of
rational
line.
humans.
Well, I feel like people have no sense of where the line is these days. They're always just like, I can say this. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
What? No, you're still saying this to an actual human being. Like, why do you think that that's an appropriate thing?
I don't know if this is completely
Do it.
ridiculous to say.
Do it.
I feel like it's only the younger than us generation, or like boomers
Who
or
are
the
misbehaving?
hateful. Yes, misbehaving.
Oh.
I feel like millennials.
So are you talking young adults or teenagers?
I'm talking teens,
teens.
but like millennials, earlier Gen Z, are generally like pretty. Because we grew up with it, we kind of evolved with
And I
the
think,
transition from
maybe Gen Z or
insurrecting
maybe
humans.
millennials and maybe we still have this idea that it's like, no, everything actually can be traced back to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true too.
Maybe the younger people feel a bit more
Oh my God.
I don't know, bulletproof.
This is such an interesting, I've seen this actually quite often in the last maybe year or so, this topic of discussion, which is about how young people have completely forgotten like cybersecurity. You know, things like you don't share your full name online, like you don't tell people where you live just for any, like I saw a Tumblr post and they were like, if you talk to someone, even just in chat, and you can say something as simple as your first and last name, maybe the hometown where you grew up and like a landmark near you, like, oh, I used to live by this park, and someone can find out like the 1 kilometer square radius where you lived. Like you don't need much. Yeah, which
well, women are. I think we're pretty good at that. Where it's like, oh, I'm dating someone. He's not really on social media. Honey, give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me
Like
10 minutes, I got him.
Yeah, it's
I
so
literally,
true. And
I literally get my female friends.
that's so funny.
I have one specific one who's really great at finding floor plans for houses that are listed online.
Oh,
and,
wow.
like the most obsure shit, and then I have ones that are like, let's hunt down this man that you're
I've got
talking
a
to.
first name and an occupation. Done.
Exactly.
I'll know if he's ever been
Medicare
charged
number,
with
everything.
How's your mum, Janice?
Yeah.
Iconic.
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, sorry for bringing all that up.
No, love it.
was-
Let's
it's-
getting deep.
It's been like I have it. I cried once.
Aw.
Okay, I cried once, but the thing is, it was just building that thicker skin.
Yeah.
And the overwhelming, and there was a moment where I doubted myself, and when I think at the height of it, where I'm like, did I misfire? Did I should I have thought about it more? And, there's so much,
Queen, next time that happens, text me and I'll talk you down from the edge because you were fucking right. You did nothing wrong at all.
And you truly.
It's just it was just my first exposure to that.
Yeah.
And then you realise that it's even hard to even comprehend the good attention. When people say nice things, you just like shut up.
I know you're not telling the truth. Yeah.
But now that I've gone through it once, next time, way easier. And time after that, if I can keep creating stuff, easier than that, I hope.
Yeah.
It's just hard being a sensitive person on the internet.
Yeah, of course. And as you say, it's your first time being exposed to just how intense it can get.
Oh my God. How celebrities don't Google themselves constantly and then just immediately jump off a cliff.
I know.
It's really
that's why those, on YouTube, there's the celebrities Google their own names and stuff.
Oh.
They give me anxiety.
Yeah,
even seeing the thumbnails.
Same.
Like the shit that they must see.
Surely Hollywood is just this conveyor belt where you go to Hollywood, you get famous, and within 2 weeks you've Googled yourself, and then you've driven off a cliff.
Yeah, you've either spiraled one way or the other, or you're completely hard-skinned, out of touch. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. God, I could never do it. Never ever.
Yeah, I'm too sensitive.
Yeah. Particularly when it's creative work, it's like you put a lot of your own like self into it, and so it's very difficult to not take it as a personal attack.
Absolutely. So comedy is a personal opinion. So it's not just people say, one of the comments is nothing personal, but I don't find you funny. It's like you don't have to find me funny, but it is personal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'll overlook it. I won't lose sleep, but I do understand that it is personal.
Yeah. Well,
didn't have to voice that.
Yeah. It's almost as though you were trying to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it's almost as if
it's really, I don't know why people feel the need to say those things. It's like, that you probably could have just kept that one to yourself. All right. Well, we are 26 minutes. This is what always happens. We just get into it.
Could be here all night. I'm fine.
Right? With all these snacks, I mean.
I'm getting more cheese.
Oh, please do. Okay.
Yeah, no, we do tend to we actually originally had 6 interview questions. Like it was like 6 categories of the pop culture thing. We had to cut it down because we go too in depth into certain topics.
It was like one book, one movie, one TV show, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, we were like 2-hour-long interviews with guests. And we were like, maybe we shouldn't be taking this much time out of people's lives.
But we narrowed it down.
Yep.
And we now love to go deep dive stuff.
Deep dive. Yep, love a deep dive, honestly.
Do a double D.
I don't know why, but that was...
I thought it was fucking hilarious. But oh, God.
You know what? I have a friend, still friends with her.
Is it me?
No, I think it was like grade...
He said still friends with her.
No, I think it was like grade 12 or something. We were laughing and we were like telling jokes and stuff. And then she said, you can be a bit much sometimes.
Ooh.
And I...
Nothing personal, but...
I think about that every day.
Oh,
yeah. Every time I interact with her, every time I make a joke, every time. And it's been like 5 years.
Oh, no.
Like, that's never left me. So, yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
I think if I've got one of them, probably a million. Maybe I think I've probably just suppressed them.
Yeah.
Have you had a thing like this one little thing that somebody said to you?
Oh God, they're all flying out of my mind now that you've put me on the spot.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, I'll think about it and then I'll probably like halfway through Liz's response, I'll be like, this is my trauma moment.
Yeah.
Title of that, my trauma moment. No, I only think about that because I'm like, all the time I'm like, one of my great personalities, I don't hold grudges. That's a lie.
Can confirm you hold a grudge.
Do not cross me. I will never forgive. Actually, I will forgive, I will never forget.
Yeah, okay, love that.
Also never forgive.
We'll just round it out.
Yeah. Anyway, so
yes.
All right.
First, what's your first one?
No, we got to get into the build-up.
Oh, right. Okay, there's an alien invasion.
There's an alien invasion
Oh, okay.
happening right now outside.
Yep.
Okay? The aliens, they're like into stan culture, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They love pop culture. They love media. They say, we're going to kill every single human on Earth that can't name 3 pieces of pop culture, 3 pieces of culture that shaped who you are today, or that had such an impact on your life that you'll never forget them. And if you can't, you die.
What is the policy? Like, are they asking babies?
They are.
Oh, that's not. Oh,
Well, that's not on.
that's so
Yeah,
cruel.
I know. And the babies are always saying, Peppa Pig, Paw
Yeah.
Patrol.
Yeah.
Can't think of a third.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
bitch.
Play school.
Bye. Yes. So you will die if you can't answer the questions, but also no pressure. Literally, we would still be thankful if you had one.
The Amish?
The Amish?
Oh no, they have culture.
They have
They'll be like
stories.
They'll be like the
Mythology.
the song that Gabe played
Yes,
in the barn.
exactly. The loot.
Oh my God, I love how deeply you're thinking about
Yeah.
this. We had one guest on and we said that question. He was like, why would you do that? That was so unnecessary. We were like, well, just like, to give the moment a bit of pressure. Anyway.
But again, if you literally have half an answer, we will still be so
Oh,
thankful that you're
I
here.
have. I
true.
wrote
We'll
things
dive
on my
in.
phone. Okay, there's.
Also, if you have more,
Oh,
just shoot them.
oh, gosh.
Go for it.
What about? Okay, I list for the rest of the podcast episode. I list things. No discussion. Just, it's just a list of things from. Pop
I'd be into that
culture.
personally.
Like, yeah, I'd mention something. You'd be like, "Oh, I love that." I'd be like, "Shh."
Yeah.
This is not your time. Love it.
So having said all that,
Yeah.
we would love to hear about your first one.
You asked me this question, and I thought I thought back to
Doctor Who.
the one time last year I watched a Doctor Who episode. The best part of being on the Doctor Who podcast is constantly calling him or now her Doctor Who, like because they're all being like the Doctor this, and I'm like,
right.
like, so anyway, Doctor Who.
That's too familiar. That's too personal.
We're not on a first name
Yeah.
basis.
It's the Doctor. Okay, something to which I responded quite viscerally, and which gave me nightmares and confusing feelings because
Interesting.
I watched it a little too early.
Okay. I love where this is going.
yeah.
This is interesting.
I hope it's an interesting discussion. It was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
Fascinating. I watched it way too young.
Yeah, right. And I was thinking about it today. So I would have been, I think, 11 or 12.
Yep.
And so it's so I'm an old ass bitch. We would have been like, this would have been a VHS tape at a friend's house at a sleepover. And what I found interesting when I was thinking about it today is that Rocky Horror introduces so much interesting work with like gender, and they talk about like tranny or transsexual, which I think has certainly evolved since then.
Yeah.
But they do all this weird stuff with gender, or that would have been quite like at the time. Yeah,
exactly.
However, as an 11-year-old, I had no follow-up questions. I'm not saying I understood or that I was woke, but I was just like that registered with me. Like, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
No follow-up questions. They're doing stuff where the men are in lingerie.
Yeah.
But the violence of Frank and Furter, the beloved Tim Curry.
Yeah.
They're in the lab. He has unleashed Meatloaf. That's my introduction to Meatloaf as well as a performer, and chases him into sort of that ice cave where he had been. This is all scientifically sound, by the way. Where he had been, I guess, preserved.
Yeah.
So Meatloaf comes out, sings "Hot Patootie." Columbia, is in love with him, but Frankenfurter is jealous and chases him into that little ice cave thing with a pickaxe, and then you see a bit of like a blood trail.
Yeah.
It's very obvious that he's got off and killed him, and then later on in the film, a tablecloth is pulled off to reveal that they
glass
are, I
table
think,
thing.
eating
Yeah.
him.
Oh!
Or wait, or,
Oh
no,
my
or
God.
were they? No, they would have been. It wasn't just, I'm showing you him.
You just blew my mind.
Oh my God, did
I always just thought it was a glass table and they just had a dead body but no, that makes way more sense. And I was like, that's so shocking. We're eating and you're going to show us a dead body? That's so fucked up.
That's so like that in your interpretation was that Frank and Ferda was just so proud.
Literally. And was like, I'm going to just do it for the
Googling it,
lols.
by the way. He's like,
No, I believe you.
well, no, I want to double check because maybe I'm the one who was
makes
wrong.
way more
Okay.
sense.
It's going to be like, well, in this text, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
But, interesting.
I'm going to quickly throw out here that I've
Yeah.
only seen this movie once, and it was actually quite recently. Nick and I went and saw it at the drive-thru.
Oh, that's a
and
beautiful way to see it.
It was pretty good, but I feel like I was like scared that night. I don't know, just generally being at the drive-thru, and I don't really remember a lot of the movie. So
I
don't have.
I remember what your reaction was, and your reaction was, as a movie, I'm confused, but that music was so fucking phenomenal
yeah, it was pretty good.
that it made up for whatever confusion I had.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is weird as well.
Oh, yeah.
And of course the music is fantastic. But sorry, okay, not as crazy as you think. By the way, your interpretation. So I've just googled it. We've got people saying, so one question looms, are they eating, so his character was Eddie and not meatloaf.
I was going to say, did you Google, are they eating meatloaf?
Is who eating meatloaf? Yeah. Okay, so we've got romper.com saying, as it turns out, depending on the version, so in the original, it is confirmed that they do. Frank calls Eddie a tender subject, and his remains are seen later. So we've got, so it seems as though maybe they did some editing. But yeah, if I'm scrolling down right now, and you've got all of these people saying, actually, I don't think it was. It was possibly just a look what I made.
I think also, because I did see it at a similar age, and I didn't process much like you did, I think I've just held on to a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm like, well, that's what it was back then, so I'm going to keep thinking that now.
and the reason it has stuck with me because that was, I think, my first. Okay, the reason why it
Cannibal
was
experience.
it was the first time I ate it. So that was nightmare fuel for a long time.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm wondering why, and I think it was because maybe you need to be slightly older. It's only in the more adult films that they show violence quite. It's sort of. I'm not going to say like a Brechtian juxtaposition or anything, but it's like when Frankenfurter is killing Eddie with the ice pick, it's at the end of the rock song. And so unlike children's pop culture artifacts where when people are doing bad things, they have bad music playing.
Yeah, Scar.
Yeah, they make sure that you know
Lion King,
that a bad character is doing a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is sort of like in a musical vibe.
It's ambiguous.
And yeah,
Maniacal,
and you've got somebody dying, but people aren't, with the exception of one or two characters, they're treating it.
Celebration.
Yeah, and so I guess it was confusing to see. To see that violence and the murder in that context without it being served up on a plate like you would for a kid.
Well, he was.
No, he was.
That actually makes sense. That there was like so much stimuli that it was like
Yeah.
I don't know how to process
And
it. So I'm
positive
just gonna,
stimuli.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fun rock music. And so that was nightmare fuel for a long time for me.
Interesting.
Like didn't have any follow-up questions about anything else, any other weirdness, but just the violence of killing and eating Eddie is I should have waited maybe a couple. Like, how old were you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
10, yeah, probably 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't have much experience except for a literal kids movie, Monster House. That was nightmare fuel
You
for
said
me.
Monster House?
Monster House,
Yeah,
yeah.
that shit was scary.
Yeah, it was.
That's not a kids movie. That's a horror movie.
That's terrifying. But my mum saw Jaws when she was about 8, and she still can't even swim in a pool without being scared that a shark will eat her. So
she can't even talk about the
it's
subject
a
of
thing.
sharks.
Yeah, no, she's like
It's
terrified. Yeah,
interesting.
like genuinely, if she's in a pool, she can't have her back to the wider part of the pool because she's like, oh my god, if I get eaten.
Is this your long way of asking if Liz is scared of ice and pickaxes?
Well, it was like how long did it last for you? Yeah.
I think I still feel a little bit uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I guess
then,
no one's
different
ever-
question,
yeah.
but similar. When did you watch it and enjoy it without?
Actually, end of high school,
Okay.
because the culture around Rocky Horror Picture
Yeah.
Show is amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that there's an
Yeah.
entire script that you can pretty much yell out when you go to performances or screenings
Yeah.
of it. I think I got into that a little bit, and that allowed. It's just, you know, when you rewatch things, you pick up things that you didn't miss. Like I'm about to drop something. In the past, what I'm about to say has been a shocker for some people, and yeah, that's obvious.
Okay.
When did you first watch Forrest Gump?
When I was 8 or 9, but I hate the
Okay.
movie.
So, yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched it the whole way
No
through.
way. Okay, okay.
Sorry, do
At
you
the
love
end, yeah, I do.
I'm going to let you finish. Sorry.
In the end, when at what age did it click that Jenny had AIDS and died of AIDS?
It didn't. Until...
I thought you were going to say
No,
till
I
this
didn't watch it
second.
and realize I had to find out, like, on the internet, like an
Yeah,
article.
yeah. You're just like, oh, and that, because they're like, she had, it was, I think that in the movie it's the 80s and it's some sort of illness, and I think it's just assumed everyone, it's like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
it.
I watched it when I was a kid, so I didn't process that. And then I just remember, I don't know if it was, I found it so boring or I found it so, I don't know what but I never loved it, and I still to this day can't bring myself to watch it.
I think it sounds like the experience that we all had with Sound of Music. Because when you're a kid, you watch it and then you just lose interest before the Nazis come. And then when you get older, you're just like, what the hell, Nazis?
added that on?
Where the hell did Nazis come from?
That's so fucking funny.
This is just a movie about a nun singing at the...
I've always
that
been.
pillow if you want, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
No, I've always been a Sound of Music stan.
Yeah.
Fair.
And
I've never seen that either.
What?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry, I just like died. What? The Sound of Music is so good, though.
I know. You know me.
It's so long. It's like
Seen
3
weird
hours, isn't
stuff.
it?
Yeah, and of course, no
Really?
kid.
No kid's gonna
No
watch that.
kid.
3 hours,
I-
really?
Yeah, but
Before I
of
go
course,
crack
in the same vein as the other stuff, my mum's 2 favorite movies of all time: Sound of Music and Rocky Horror.
Oh, I'm your mum.
You are my mum. So I already had like positive vibes around it, positive ideas of them before I even saw them. And no, my first experience watching Rocky Horror, this might be TMI, but was probably when I was like around 10 or 11. It had just come out on DVD for the first time ever.
Yep.
Iconic.
And we bought it for my mum for her birthday or Christmas or something. And she's like, okay, cool. I think you being me and my sister are far too young to be watching this. You'll sit in front of me. I'll just cover your eyes whenever there's something on screen I don't want you seeing. So we did that. Made it through the entire movie. And at the end, you know the pool scene?
Yes.
She covered her eyes for that.
But that's just kind of lingerie kissing, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't know that. So in my head, I was like just figuring out like just the beginnings of sexuality and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, what is on screen right now? Are they having like group sex? Is that a thing that people do? Oh my God. And in my head, for the next like, I don't know, 5 years, 4 years, whatever, I was like, I think there was an orgy at the end of that thing. Like learning what the word orgy means.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so hot. I was like, so the movie just like
in
the
your
thought
mind,
of the
was
movie.
that what sex was? Like, sex is
yeah.
getting-
Yeah, it literally was. And I was like, so the way that the thought of the movie scared you as a kid, it made me horny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we all had those sorts of experiences, particularly with animated characters, where it's like, mine was Gaston, which is a really weird...
Interesting.
because he's not a nice person.
Interesting.
And a lot of
But
people
he's pretty hot.
had non-human stuff, like various Lion King
Simba.
type characters. Or
Yeah.
that Space Jam...
Girl.
yes.
Yeah.
the rabbit
with
with
the
the
ears?
big tits?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Jessica Rabbit?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but that or Lola.
Yeah.
Lola. You know.
Yes.
All of the above.
Yeah,
Interesting.
weird. Interesting.
I don't feel like I can pinpoint an animated character that I had a crush on as a kid. Like
You told
as
me
a
Prince
teen.
Eric.
Oh.
That's true. I do love Prince Eric.
I also, Prince Eric is...
Yeah, peak.
fine piece of man. A fine piece of meatloaf.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't want to spoil Sound of Music for you, but
Spoil
in the
it.
second half, the character played by Christopher Plummer, Mr. Von Trapp, right? He pulls away a tablecloth.
Okay.
And they're eating the first wife.
What? Why are you both laughing? Are you? I don't understand.
Chases Julie Andrews' character into the ice cave with a pickaxe.
That's why they're so. Oh my god. That's so stupid.
You too.
I think this is a good segue to the number 2.
Okay.
Because I realised this a few months ago. We go to Warner Brothers Movie World on the Gold Coast every now and again, I'm sure, every couple of years or, depending on how much you like it. And there's a whole wing of that theme park dedicated to Looney Tunes. I was speaking with my 5-year-old nephew. I said, do you know Looney Tunes? He said, no.
Whack.
And I am curious as to whether they need to bail on that whole half of the theme park because I don't know if kids are watching Looney Tunes. I don't know if it's Bugs Bunny and Daffy. No, not Daffy. Wait, who's the duck?
Yeah.
No, Daffy's Disney, right?
No, that's Donald.
Oh yeah, Daffy Duck. Yeah, gotcha.
I'm not going to lie. I actually don't think, I mean, I know who they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think I watched much of it as a kid.
Yeah.
So maybe it is.
You didn't watch much of anything.
That's true. I have a really weird childhood experience with pop culture.
That is so interesting. And that just
Are they going to have to just be like, well, everything needs to be, I don't know, Bluey or Paw Patrol or
Yeah,
not
well,
that
I feel like
IP,
if you
but-
showed like a kid now a photo of Bugs Bunny, they'd be like, oh yeah, the guy from Space Jam.
Yeah. Or they'd be just like, oh, cool cartoon bunny, not realising that for a lot
It was
of
in a
other
whole
kids, it's
cult-
like,
yeah.
that's the bunny, that's the cartoon.
For a
You're
very long
right. And because
time.
it's so like ingrained in pop culture in my head,
Yeah.
I never even thought about the fact that it's not really relevant anymore.
Or, yeah, because kids don't
There's no
watch,
new media for it.
Yeah, and kids don't watch Saturday morning cartoons.
No, of course.
And if they did, there's no new Looney Tunes
No.
cartoons
Right.
anyway.
No, definitely not. Wow. That's so
Wow.
interesting. I guess it depends. Bringing it back to movie world.
Yeah.
I reckon it depends on who they think their audience is
Yeah.
in terms of whether or not they would redo it.
Nostalgia and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure kids
exactly.
haven't watched the Scooby-Doo 2000,
Oh, yeah,
One.
yeah.
even though they should.
They haven't, and I can confirm this because the kids I babysit for,
Yeah.
they are 8. They'd never seen it when they went on the ride. That
No
was their
Scooby-Doo.
first experience.
Oh.
Well, with the live action one, that was their first experience with it. They were
So
fucking
they were like-
shit terrified, by the way.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Interesting.
is coming from a place that had the Police Academy stunt show until like
2017,
Oh.
2016.
that was a series of 80s films, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's a pretty outdated, little theme park. Although, in saying that,
yes.
they've really brought in some new stuff in the last, 5 or so years. 5, 10
Like?
years.
Well,
Superman.
well, I think coming back to
DC only.
who were
Yeah.
you saying who has the Jaws for the shark?
My mum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're young, or maybe when 20 years ago, we thought that animatronics were a really cool,
Yeah.
were great.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now I remember my sister and I were watching on YouTube a comparison between there was old and then there was a revamped Jaws ride at one of those theme parks.
Universal.
Yeah, Universal.
Yeah.
And man, oh my God, the old one. I was just like, how does anyone ever get scared of this weird ass, creaky old shitty shark
Yeah,
that is
classic.
being pulled out of the water? And then they've got the new shark and it's like too far in the other direction. That's scary. But no,
Too real.
same thing with the Jurassic Park rides. I think they've
Yeah.
been revamped.
I just saw the Jurassic Park one, yeah.
Yeah.
The YouTube.
Yeah.
I one of the subculture
Yeah.
things I'm obsessed with is theme parks.
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
just
nice.
the semantics. I
Yeah,
love
of
the idea and the ideas behind rides and what they think is going to be successful and what's not.
So you were a child of Roller Coaster Tycoon, Theme Park Tycoon?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Of course.
Although weirdly not a huge fan of actually being on a roller coaster.
Okay. That's fascinating. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I find the entire thing about theme parks fascinating. And the Jurassic Park one recently is like, it's an interesting trajectory because with that specifically, they used to have a bunch of animatronics of the dinosaurs and stuff. These days, they are getting rid of a large amount of them and investing in 2 or 3 high quality ones.
Yep.
High quality, like smooth, realistic looking animatronics, but because they cost so much, they can't do heaps of them. So it's like, I think the main dinosaurs in that, most of it's screens.
Yeah.
And then there's, I think, a couple of animatronic dinosaurs chasing the van the whole time.
Terrifying.
But the other one is the Avatar ride at Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
Or Disney World,
I don't know
whatever.
anything about that.
Well, the entire ride is like...
They put dinosaurs.
Well, it's like...
I got the old ones from old Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like, just put it
They
in.
do reuse them. Disneyland reuses them.
Oh, wow.
They reskin them. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. Go look up the
Violet
Jenny
couch
Nicholson's...
reupholstered.
Literally.
Okay.
But with flesh. Go look up Jenny Nicholson's video on Buzzy.
Oh my God.
Buzzy, the theme park attraction at Disneyland. It's iconic.
Okay.
That is. It's like
Someone
an hour and a
stole
half,
it.
but it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll link you. I'll send you a link.
we'll link it down below in the description
Yeah.
anyway. But I don't know where I was going. Yes, I do.
Avatar.
The Avatar ride is like all these plants and stuff that look like they're from the movie and screens projecting the animals flying around and shit. And it's not until the very end of the ride, you're in a boat, it's not until the very end of the ride where you see an actual animatronic and it's this really massive, like 9-foot tall Avatar alien Na'vi playing the drums, and it's really smooth and it looks like it's natural and all that. And they spent so much money on it that they were like, they got to the rest of the ride. This was like the final room. They got to the rest of the ride and they were like, oh, what do we do for the 5 minutes prior to this? Wow. We have no money left.
Whack.
We'll just install some screens.
Wow.
So,
How boring.
I don't know why I went that.
No,
I find the whole thing really interesting. I don't know.
My best animatronic experience was when I was. This would have been, I'd say, 15 years ago. It's no longer there, but there was at Movie World a Looney Tunes sort of. It was a kids' ride where they do that thing where they take you into a warehouse. There are some Looney Tunes animatronics being like somebody's, I think, stolen something.
Yeah.
Then you get into the.
Like an escape
I'm
room.
doing air quotes right now. The elevator that takes you down into the center of the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
was that
more of a family-ish.
Looney Tunes in action live?
Something.
There was that movie with Brendan Fraser in the early 2000s.
Iconic.
It was like
Love
the
that
Looney Tunes come into real life.
That's the Mummy.
Of course, everyone's favorite childhood character, Nefertiti.
But okay, so there was what's the Foghorn Leghorn, the tall rooster,
Yeah.
Looney Tunes character. So he starts the experience, or no, he's there to greet you when you come out of the air quotes elevator. and of course they're telling you what the storyline of the experience is like. Looks like you're gonna have to go find
You're
them.
like, you know, in the Harry Potter movie when they pull the memory out of the. You're like doing that to me right now. It's really trippy. Sorry,
Like,
continue.
and
You come out of
were
the elevator.
thinking of this card. We come out, but the group before us had obviously taken a bunch of rocks and pebbles from the ground and put them in Foghorn Leghorn's mouth. And so whenever, and it was a cheap old animatronic, so whenever his mouth, like his beak sort of opened and shut, like gravel was falling off. So what was meant to be like, oh, hey, buddy, is just like, it's like, looks like we're going to have to go find bugs, but it's just like rocks falling out of his mouth.
Wild.
Like, Foghorn, like,
Whack.
get some help, man. What are you doing? This is embarrassing.
Got the mumps.
Yeah. Get rocks out of your mouth.
Oh,
Wild.
goodness.
So,
Whack.
I don't actually think we asked what aspect of that was your second
Oh yeah,
choice.
just Looney Tunes,
Tunes.
just as
A cultural
the
moment.
one memorable one I have, and from what I recall, this is probably decades and decades and decades ago. But with you know, you grow up, you never realise that Snow White is from what, the 30s.
Yeah.
What's on your
ca-
VHS is
A cartoon,
the
a
entire
cartoon.
world, yeah.
But there's that one Looney Tunes one. I think it's very operatic. Bugs Bunny pretends to be a beautiful, I think, sort of goddessy, possibly Greek or Italian. He wears the horns. I think, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Interesting.
And he's riding a very plump horse. Something of the Flight of the Valkyrie, I think. It's very operatic. And it's that one sequence that I think.
I can picture the Bugs Bunny in the
yes.
hair.
Yes.
Right?
I think so. Yeah. With, sort of this, I guess,
things.
silk wrapped around. Yeah. And I think that is the one thing that stuck with me. But come to think of it, it was probably like 40, or maybe not 40s. It's like, why are you making this shit? There's a water fight.
Yeah, interesting.
It's very interesting. I feel like I have like really specific flashes of like, there must have been something that I watched because I can very clearly picture this like 2-second sequence where they're in like an aeroplane or something.
The Looney Tunes?
Yeah, that's it. No, I have no further context around what was going on. So I think I feel like it's just one of those things that everyone, people our age and up, they've just like seen something.
Yeah.
They've seen it somewhere, you know.
Well, yeah, and especially with like the Looney Tunes more so than Disney characters, Mickey Mouse and all that.
Yeah.
You kind of just know the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the characters popped up in everything, whereas Disney, it was like, you know the movies, you know the specific stories they're in.
Yeah, that's really fair. That's really fair.
This is the one I was talking. Oh,
interesting. No,
Yeah.
I got nothing.
There's
but
a
yeah,
meme
57.
as well.
It was 1950s era.
Okay.
I didn't think the Looney Tunes were that old.
Apparently, yeah.
I think they are quite. Like, I think they started quite a long time ago.
Interesting.
Like, I would say even pre-50s. Personally, not that I know.
When was Steamboat Willie of Disney? 20s?
Surely that'd be 20. I once wanted to make reference in conversation to Steamboat Willie, and I misspoke. And you know what I called it?
Oh no,
Motorboat Willie.
Literally the worst thing you could have.
Can absolutely guarantee there is a porn parody.
Yeah,
named
oh my
Motorboat
God.
Willie.
Little Mickey Mouse doing his whistling.
Yeah, fuck.
And then being like,
Oh no, stop. Okay,
That's also a full sentence, Motorboat Willie.
oh, yeah.
wow. It's 1928.
28 was
1928.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah,
Motorboat.
8 minutes.
Motorboat Willie, yeah.
Interesting.
Whack.
It's on Disney Plus.
Is it really?
I just...
Oh.
Well, they're doing these weird things. Like, I think Warner Brothers has the best way of approaching this, and I think their screenshots of this warning have generally gone viral, is that before super problematic stuff, and we know there's so much super problematic stuff, they say, it's something like a reminder to viewers that this is representative of the opinions or the tastes or the what was acceptable at the time. But they go on to say, however, removing it for the current day audience is akin to saying that these depictions never happened or that these opinions were never held. And
Interesting.
I think you can make an argument for doing either way, to either remove it or
That's
to
true.
present it and say, sorry, but this is what people felt, and it wasn't right, but we won't pretend that they didn't. But I think Warner Brothers does that really well. Maybe, I don't know if Disney...
I think Disney just... specifically on Disney Plus with movies like Song of the South and stuff.
I was about to say Uncle Remus, yeah.
Yeah, they just actually in the description before any other writing it says...
They're like, this is whack.
Yeah. They're like, this was represented times. These opinions are not held today by anyone at Disney, basically.
Yeah.
Like a legal disclaimer, very Disney. No, but I like that. And I think there's a big difference between like putting a warning between something that's so old, like Warner Brothers cartoons and stuff, versus, you know, removing an episode of 30 Rock that had blackface or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's not ingrained in history. That's not ingrained in culture.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think this is an interesting discussion in terms of, like, can you remove art from the artist and how... like, obviously, and then this one's deeper is what kind of impact does art have on people? But I feel like when you're talking about old movies, I think there really is an argument to be made to keep it in there, particularly when you're giving a warning, because the main issue with keeping it in there is obviously that you have the risk of introducing a newer generation to the idea that these beliefs are acceptable. But when you have that warning there saying, no, they're not acceptable, your audience goes in being like, okay, what I'm about to see is wrong.
Yeah, it's all about context,
Exactly, yeah. So it's like, it's not...
it's the same with Sound of Music and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway. That's all. Don't
fall
be
in love
racist.
with a man who's like 15 years older than you.
How far do we want to take those warnings? It's like you want to warn people that this was racist, sexist. This is all sorts of problems. But what if it's like also you could be like, this wasn't very good.
Yeah, this is actually a bad movie.
I don't know what was happening with this character.
12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Well, what was you watched? You watched last year, didn't you? I can't think of the name.
Tell me about it.
You compared it to Paddington Bear.
Pearl Harbor.
Synonymous. Gone with the Wind or something?
No, I've never seen Gone with
What did you compare Paddington to? The best movie of all time. Highest rated movie of all time on Rotten Tomatoes.
What was that called?
Oh, wait.
It was a movie from...
not
one.
What a wonderful...
A Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life.
No. What about the one that's meant to be like the best ever?
Yes.
Mr. Black and White. Yeah.
It's black and white. It was from like the 30s.
The one based on Mank?
I don't know. Hold on.
No,
that's
just to anyone listening who knows it. I'm so sorry. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're all
Citizen Kane.
Yeah,
that is now has gone back to number one.
Okay,
but,
that's what I was thinking of. If that helps.
But hold on.
Are you going through your own YouTube?
Yeah, I am. I'm like, because I have the poster on there.
Yeah, I know. Because
let me see.
Which one of the 100% Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Is better.
Oh fuck! Of course.
Was it really not Citizen Kane?
No, it wasn't.
Whack.
I know. It was a romance movie.
Romancing the Stone?
It happened one night. Okay. Oh. It's a romance movie. Yeah, I didn't really know. It was a romance movie, and she was like an heiress, and she was she was in an arranged marriage to some guy, and then she didn't want to be, and so she like ran away from her dad and the guy and fell in love with this journalist, basically.
Okay. Girl boss.
Yeah, well, it was. I was really surprised because it was. I think it was from the 30s or something, and I went into it being like, "Oh my god, this is going to be the most sexist thing I've ever seen." But it wasn't. It was like fully.
No way.
It's like the birth of so many romance tropes. I can think in my mind. For example, they're on a bus at one point. She stands up. There's a bump in the road. She falls into his lap. Like that's the first time that ever happened in a movie.
Way.
You know,
hotter than porn.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so but it was actually very.
That's fascinating. I wonder who had like the first last minute like airport plea to not go.
Yeah.
Running through the airport.
Yeah. Oh, the first wedding interruption. Mm-hmm. Surely that was pretty early, right?
You'd think so.
Surely that was happening in real life with the whole objection thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe it was like in Greek theatre.
No, it was Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek.
The birth of culture.
What are other romantic movie I mean, the first meet cute. Surely that would have been it.
Yeah. They did there was a fake relationship in that movie. They had a fake dating thing going on because they stayed in an inn and the people who ran the inn only let married couples in, so they had to do that. Yeah.
This is ticking all my boxes.
It was actually really good.
Because a typical romance film is 10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is the concept of either a bet or an arrangement to pretend or something.
Yeah.
Even really recently, like To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yeah.
That was a fake relationship.
Yeah. The idea where it's like, don't catch feeling. Oh, they caught feeling.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the best of all time is hating each other to loving each other.
Enemies to lovers.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Nothing better.
And so, to bring the mood down, just because I'm going to do that.
Bring it down.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it down. Wouldn't it be funny if I did that for something not related at all?
Yeah, you're like to the Holocaust.
I just want to remind y'all that so many people die of malaria.
So how about that COVID-19?
What were we talking about?
Fake dating, tropes, romance tropes, enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers, yes. That's where I was going to bring everything down. Because I think it's because it's not good to perpetuate this idea that particularly young boys and young girls, if you want to get their attention, make fun of them, tease them, pull their hair, or to write off that behavior of he's doing that because he likes you.
Yeah, I feel like a very recent discussion was around Kylo and Rey. Star Wars was about, it's really like now you're just teaching girls that it's their responsibility to like fix a guy, or like teach him the right way or whatever. That was a very prominent discussion around that.
Wig. I agree. It definitely, I think I can speak for both of us. It definitely affected our taste in romantic partners.
Yeah, that's
that
accurate.
Kind of stuff.
I would say that. Yeah,
we were both very into like fan fiction and stuff too. So it was
where? Okay.
Is there still a big fan fiction community?
Massive. It's only getting bigger and bigger, to be honest.
Is it still that same website that everybody loves?
You sound like you're pitching it. Archive of Our Own, AO3.
It used to be fanfiction.net.
Yeah, maybe that's the one.
But then they stopped letting like most porn on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And everyone was like, well then why are we here?
Yeah. If I can't read about two characters, fucking what am I doing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't write about it either.
Exactly. Well, and then the thing about AO3 that people really like is that it has a really robust tagging system. So you can give like a lot of adequate warnings about what's actually going to be in your fic. So you can tag enemies to lovers and people. If people don't like that, they can go, nope, I'm not into it. So
nice.
Yeah, it's good.
But you're right. It is a bad relationship standard and it's definitely affected people in real life. This whole I can fix them, or even that idea that it's like, when a guy is only nice to the girl that he likes, and it's like, oh my God, I must be special. Wow, yeah,
it's
the
so
bully
nice.
who's actually got a heart of gold for the one girl.
For the one person, it's like, well, actually, you shouldn't excuse someone's behavior just because they're nice to you specifically. Yeah,
and you can't, excuse someone's behavior by saying that they're doing it because they like you. It's like do kind things.
Yeah, the Australian government actually did. You guys might have probably saw it, that ad campaign that they did recently where it was like about domestic violence and teaching.
I don't remember what I did watch it, but you're talking about milkshake? No. Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, it was like a proper. And it was like starting from a young age with boys when they like pull a girl's ponytail, and with their parents being like, no, we have to stop that, because then obviously the ad escalates into proper full-on domestic violence. It was really good ad actually. It was really yeah.
The Australian government.
I know. Imagine them getting something right.
I thought you were talking about. I actually never ended up watching it, but apparently they released that some sort of half-assed video where they tried to explain consent with a milkshake. Yeah, recently.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. And wasn't it something fucking stupid like, here's your milkshake. I didn't order a milkshake.
Lol.
Like, well, you're having like that kind of thing. It was very just out of touch.
That sounds it.
From what I remember, I'm probably completely missing the mark.
Okay, we are now at an hour 7 minutes. Oh, so number 3.
Okay, I'm going to open up my notes app. Man, there is some nonsense on this notes app. There is I was typing. I was searching on my phone for notes, but because I was typing, saying the word nonsense, I started searching for nonsense.
I love that.
Okay. This is maybe too old. I mean, it was too old for me, but it was something that I watched when my parents gave me the Comedy Channel for my they agreed to upgrade the Foxtel package. By the way, Foxtel sucks. Like why would you pay $100 a month for Foxtel nowadays?
Nowadays,
Back when it was Austar, we were like, "Oh yeah, this is the life."
Oh yeah, and all I wanted was the upgrade that gave us the Comedy Channel. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, one of the things that I really enjoyed as a 13, 14-year-old girl was the actually late-night comedy monologues. I wouldn't watch the entirety of the rest of, say, every episode of Jay and Conan, but I liked the monologues, and so that first segment they do in the first 10 minutes, in a way that was just, I was clearly not the target audience. And I would go to school the next day and be like, okay, Jay did this joke. It's like, have you heard about this senators having a sex controversy. But I know but one of the shows that I watched was Monty Python, and I loved it. And I think everybody agrees that, most people would agree that at their best, they are spectacular. Yeah. The Life of Brian, the Holy Grail. But when you get to, multiple seasons of Monty Python's Flying Circus, oh my God, when they were bad, they were shit. Like when they were people, and of course that's why you remember the fantastic movies and of course the best sketches.
Yeah.
But the sketches that were just maybe haven't been remembered or recalled. It's just, I love absurd humor, but it really doesn't speak to me. The sketches will be like, this is a fish. And then, and then one of them will be like, bleep bloop.
Yeah.
And then it'll go back to the first one and be like, a fish.
Yeah.
Bleep bloop. You're just like, okay.
They're like early quirky Vine humor.
Can't all be winners.
Yeah. Throw them all out there. One of them will stick.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think, and it reminded me of, I think somebody did some actual research because people have strong feelings about good and bad eras of SNL, but somebody, I don't know how they could do this quite scientifically, has said no. Sort of SNL has sort of been received by each audience as it has been, and it refutes people saying current SNL is bad,
right?
Because of course you only remember old SNL because of the more memorable sketches,
right?
You don't
the highlights.
Yeah, you don't remember the non-memorable sketches, whereas we are presented with the full episode of current SNL, and they're not all going to be winners. So if you're comparing the highlights of the Will Ferrell era, it's not going to look as good as the first airing of a modern episode. So it's like, don't think of it, don't compare. But also, if you look back at Monty Python, oh my God, it's like just.
Some real stinkers.
Yes. I'm just like, you guys, you were Oxford educated. Half of a season just starts with them going through a slideshow of trees.
Iconic.
And I think it's Michael Palin's voice, and he's like, episode 1, the larch. And then it moves to a different slide of, I think, the same tree. And he's like, the larch. And like that's the sketch.
That feels so low effort.
Yeah. They were like, what can we do that we can get done in 5 minutes?
Well, the BBC ordered another 20 episodes. What am I going to do?
But Monty Python, I think, was my first introduction to what the world considered to be, okay, we're going to keep this. This is what we're going to use as classic comedy.
Interesting.
So then did you watch like all the adjacent stuff like Fawlty Towers? And...
I actually didn't. So we got the Fawlty Towers stuff, all of like, because British comedians suddenly become travel guides.
Yes.
And Michael Palin, Joanna Lumley from AbFab, she and I'm not saying they do a bad job either. They're very intelligent people. What else? Everything that John Cleese was in, Eric Idle. He was like a baddie in an Annie film, I think.
Wait.
So
the late 90s one?
The phone's coming out. The phone's coming out.
I love it. I do this all the time. No one I know ever just, well, you do it a little bit. Whenever I just pull my phone out to an unknown question, I'm like, I need to know right now. And everyone's like, well,
maybe it was Casper.
Oh, no, I need to know immediately.
Yeah, same. Just Google it. Find out.
It pisses off every one of my extended family members.
Yeah, same.
Specifically my uncle.
Yeah.
He'll say this fact and I'll be like, that's not true.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, Mr. Google.
Yeah.
And then he gets really upset at me.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have a good relationship.
It was Casper, by the way. He was just like a baddie in the Christina Ricci, or Richie, whatever you want to say it.
That was one of my top childhood movies.
Yeah. I mean, you look at me like I ruined it for you. Like,
no, you enhanced it.
I hate it now that I know Eric Idle was in it.
No, you keep bringing up these things. And every time we have a guest, it's always like pulling out these memories of things that I used to be obsessed with as a kid. And it's really fun.
It's true. It is
well,
fun.
that movie, was, I don't know, maybe you're probably a bit young for it. Like you wouldn't have loved it exactly at the time it came out.
No. It would have been VHS.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, you know, when he turns into a real boy and it was that heartthrob, it was Devon something or other. Sawa. Yeah.
Devon's, Sawa, S-A-W-A.
Yeah. And I think, not me, but I know a lot of people I've spoken to on my regular conversations about Devon Sawa, like that was my first sort of crush on a boy.
Oh, interesting.
Yours or theirs?
Theirs.
Okay,
theirs.
who's yours?
Of course, yours.
Who did I? Oh, okay. This I will admit. I don't know why young Liz had latched onto this.
I was like, who's young Liz?
Yeah.
Okay,
we did have guest on before.
Yeah, and that's all young Liz. Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
Very young Dan Aykroyd, I guess. And I think, and of course you'd be like, well, where was Liz seeing Dan Aykroyd?
That is my first question.
It's not like I was hanging around watching SNL, but I think it was possibly just seeing him in advertising for, like, the Coneheads was going to be on TV.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, okay. Young. He's pretty sexy.
Show me young.
Look at this picture of him.
I can't picture him
He
young.
owns Crystal Skull vodka. You know the vodka that's in a
Skull.
Yeah, that's him.
Whack!
Yeah.
Imagine having multiple talents.
I can't relate.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. I'm not going to lie.
And imagine
The glasses
having,
make it.
Imagine having a talent.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Look.
It's the dream, man.
Yeah, interesting.
Very interesting.
Did either of you do Monty Python at all? Like, have you seen the big uns? The movies?
Oh, the big ones, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, the big uns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yes, I have seen most of the Monty Python movies, yeah.
No.
And, a lot of the...
I've seen some parts of it, but...
Yeah, but see, in my head, I just assume, correlate everything that one of the Monty Python actors was in as Monty Python.
Yeah. It's part of the Monty Python universe,
Yeah,
right?
it's the MCU, yeah.
I got it.
Wow, this is amazing. Okay, so Casper is part of the Monty Python universe.
I guess so. But does that also mean the Hilary Duff one is?
Oh, what do you mean?
The Hilary Duff
Why?
Casper? Because I don't know that.
She's done a Casper?
I think it was Hilary Duff.
No idea. Okay,
Well,
what about
Google's doing it.
Rat Race? That film?
That's
That's part of the Monty Python
I
universe.
had it on VHS.
Oh, well, wait, wasn't John Cleese in Harry Potter? Oh my God.
In the
Harry, I'm gonna make a declaration to everyone listening. Harry Potter is Monty Python fan fiction.
I thought you were going to say John Cleese is Harry Potter.
So fucking funny. Oh my God. Okay, he was in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay.
Yeah, Casper Meets Wendy. A stunning 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
1998, a tight hour 34.
Okay, that's good. Actually,
And actually, that's a pretty big budget for a Casper movie, $6.5 million.
straight to
Oh,
video.
wow.
I'm assuming it sounds very straight to video.
It was.
Okay, just like all of those Mary-Kate and Ashley stuff and Sabrina stuff. I think Sabrina the Teenage Witch in Rome.
I
Sabrina
kid you
in
not. I had a
Australia.
wormhole about a month ago with all the Sabrina movies.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
and I had to, because I remember me and my sister used to watch them on VHS non-stop.
Yeah.
Specifically the Down Under and Rome ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, did these actually happen, or are they in my head?
Because
They're so surreal, because they were in my head, yeah.
How did they end
like,
up in my head? How do I have memories of them? Yeah.
you're my mum.
Wow. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So these TV movies were like happening in between seasons of the sitcom.
Right.
So it was always jarring that there was like no laugh track and they were like in a different place.
Oh yeah. And that, I mean, they didn't, and it just wasn't in a studio.
Yeah.
They,
And like
what the hell
most
is
of
she
the
doing
actors wouldn't appear.
outside. You know.
It was like just Melissa Joan Hart. And this one, her cousin, I can't remember who played her cousin, but she was in every TV movie, not a single episode of the show.
Oh.
Whack.
She was brunette, I can't remember her name. But
Wow.
yeah, these movies were wild.
Well, yeah, I think it was a tweet saying, growing up, we were used to the sequel being a piece of shit They get maybe no main actors, straight to video.
Jafar's Return.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nathan Lane has voiced something.
Yeah.
And it's just, and nowadays, kids get high quality sequels, and
They really do.
and it's like you don't understand.
And 10 Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't understand what it was like. You had to deal with this sort of our style of sequel.
Yeah. By the way, John Cleese was nearly headless Nick, the ghost, in the first couple.
That follows.
I feel like I think there could be a solid case made that it is part of the Monty Python universe, considering he's a ghost.
Oh,
in Harry
yeah.
Potter, so just throwing that out there.
So every Monty Python movie and show is actually a prequel to Harry Potter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Hogwarts is actually Faulty Towers.
That makes sense. It's all coming together.
I know.
Wow.
J.K. Rowling who?
Conspiracy?
Yeah. I think generally speaking, the years like 2018 onward have been very like J.K. Rowling who? As a community where it's like, whatever, we'll take the books, bitch.
Accurate.
Sorry
She's
if you're
a
listening,
weird one,
J.K.
man.
Rowling.
No, if you're listening, J.K. Rowling, absolutely fuck off.
Oh yeah, actually no, I should grow a backbone. It's true. I stick by it, J.K.
All your answers have been
Yes,
incredible.
I particularly want to highlight the first answer because it's very unusual that we get someone saying it had a negative impact. Usually people are like, oh, it had...
But it got there.
Well, no, I really...
got there, but
it's true. But I really liked that take. I thought
did
that was
too.
interesting.
it was the first thing that stuck with me.
Yeah, fair. Very fair.
I think.
Wow.
When
Loved it.
I was thinking about it, me reminiscing on the last month, I was thinking about it not long ago while I was trying to sleep. When I was a little kid, one of the first pieces of media I only remember because it terrified me, and it was The Jungle Book.
Interesting.
Nothing in the
Disney
actual movie.
animation?
Yeah. Nothing in the movie scared me. But
The snake was pretty scary.
no, you know the elephant march?
Yeah,
When they're marching, there's
kind
like all the
of.
elephants go the marching. And they're singing.
At the beginning, kind of.
Close.
Did someone get stumpled?
Kind of like it's
Stumpled.
that vein of things. But basically, when I was a kid, I was trying to sleep, and I all I could hear was this herd of elephants coming to trample me in my bed. And it was like around Christmas. I couldn't not hear it, and that's why that movie stuck with me. And that is probably, along with Bob the Builder, like one of the first pieces of media I remember. Full stop.
I thought you were going to say one of the things I'm most scared of. I was like,
You
Bob
also,
Builder now?
and you still lay awake at night thinking that Bob's
No, if anything, I'm staying
He's
awake at
making
night,
his way
like
towards you.
dancing to the Bob the Builder Mambo number 5.
I had my first
banging.
introduction to supposedly what new, well, I don't recognize it, but there is a new Bob the Builder, a new style of animation.
I have not seen anything except one of a still image of one of the trucks. It's
It's creepy.
My
not
brother,
it.
when we were younger, okay, to preface this, we lived on a farm growing up.
Aw.
And he loved
Aw.
he loved Bob the Builder, and he had the yellow one. I think it was Scoop, maybe.
Dizzy.
Maybe Dizzy. No, Dizzy was the concrete mixer, right? It was an actual scooping one. Anyway, it doesn't matter what her name was. He left it on the lawn, and my mum accidentally rode over it with the tractor. Squished it. I know
That's
Mackenzie.
like war.
Mackenzie's never let it go. That was probably 20 years ago, and he's still like,
I have almost
You ran over
similar
my-
story. We went camping on Fraser Island, and I took my yellow truck Scoop toy.
right?
It was like the fancy toys where they're like metal.
Yeah. Love that.
I took it, and I was like, me and one of our family friends were playing hide the toy in the sand. And then find it,
Oh, no.
and I couldn't find it.
Oh,
and we had to
no.
leave Fraser Island. I never recovered.
He's
gone forever.
Is it 1-0 score wise?
yeah,
Pretty much.
never recovered.
Wow. Whack. Wow. Oh, the things we remember
well, no,
as
actually,
traumatic as a kid.
You know what? You're doing some therapy on me. Thinking back,
Yeah.
that's probably when I started to become a hoarder.
Oh.
I'm not like an actual hoarder, but anything of sentimental value, I
Oh, yes.
cannot. I cannot lose track of. Like, I have a box full of teddy bears from when I was a kid because I cannot get rid of them.
Okay.
For the life of me.
I had a box of teddy bears and I got rid of them when I was about 14 or 15 because my mum was always on me to like declutter my room. Not specifically about the teddy bears, but just in general.
Yeah.
And so I got rid of them and mum was like, after that, I was so proud of myself. Mum was like, why would you do that? They have sentimental value. Anyway, I felt guilty about that for like 10 years now.
See, I think
I can't let it go.
I think for me, growing up with Toy Story had a big impact. I was like, those teddy bears have feelings.
Yes.
Fair.
But also, no, I cannot throw out anything that has even a smidge of sentimental value.
Wow. So we're not at piss jars.
We're not at piss jars. Not for
yet.
hoarding purposes.
Okay, for medical purpose.
I was going to say for freaky time.
For
Sex purposes.
what is it called? For just hydration purposes. Yeah.
Exactly.
beg
I'm
will
a
soup.
weird hoarder because I also have to have everything very neat.
Oh.
So then you open my cupboard and it's like, why do you have a box of like Pez dispensers from 2000?
I know. I think a few years ago, as Western culture just started getting really fascinated with hoarders, and I think there's possibly multiple shows or maybe just one popular show. And I never watched a full episode, but I remember just flicking through channels once, and I have to say I understand it can be very intense and hurtful thing to go through or to see your loved ones happen. Okay, but I saw this one, it just illustrates, I guess, how intense it was, because the scene that I saw was a woman who, of course, had everything piled up in her house and her family was saying, you need to change, you need to get better and face this, and we help you. Yeah. And she was out on her front lawn having a breakdown, and I think somebody whose job was to help her put this to her, and she's like, do you want your family or do you want pans? and the thing is, it was a really hard question.
That's an uncomfortably long silence right there before that answer, Mum.
and it's just a woman looking at the pans and the I don't know, the host being like,
was the music building?
Family or pants?
I got it.
And she's like, and I truly believe that it was a tough decision for her, because obviously it's a mental health issue. But she it was so, she's just like, I want both. Please don't throw away the pans.
Oh,
Wig.
whack.
Look, that both can be true. That can be a real traumatizing experience and real mental health issue. That's also fucking funny as shit. Like, have you seen that TV documentary about people who can't stop orgasming?
Oh my god, yes.
And I know, we are on the same page.
The one
I feel
guy,
so sorry for her. It's absolutely, but
but there's this one guy who's constantly orgasming, and he's always in pain from it and stuff, and I sympathize.
Wouldn't it?
But there was one scene, and he's like, it invades every aspect of my life. I was at my father's funeral, standing over his coffin, orgasming, unable to stop. I almost died of laughing. It was so goddamn funny, and I felt horrible, but like, objectively, that's pretty funny.
See, the only time I always generally think it's pretty fucking funny, but there was this one that I watched, and it was the first time that I've ever been like, oof, was she was talking about how she can't, doesn't stop orgasming. And she was talking about when it happens in front of her kids, it makes her feel like really dirty.
Oh my God, that's way worse.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, okay, I'm suddenly very uncomfortable with this.
Change channel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, you can't think too far into it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just as a standalone piece of performance art.
Yeah.
The statement, I couldn't stop orgasming at my father's funeral, was...
Get that as a snippet.
Yeah, put that on my greeting card.
I'm taking that out of context.
Yeah.
Title of app.
Oh, that poor woman. Oh,
yeah, man.
Everyone who has that issue, I feel very bad for you.
Accurate. Do you reckon, is it like, now we're getting deep into this, is it like a late onset type of disease, or is it like you hit puberty and it starts? Like, what do you reckon? Or you have like, maybe you have your first orgasm and then it just never stops.
Or if something triggers it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Neither.
These apps are.
Despite my deep knowledge, I'm not actually knowledgeable.
Yeah. About.
I'm going to have to Google this later. I'll text you guys.
I guess it's one of those things where, like, your very initial gut reaction is like, nice queen, yeah. So
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
oh, no, that's a terrible life.
Yeah,
Well, exactly.
literally.
And it's like, it just feels so far from reality
Yeah.
that I'm like, that's hilarious. And then you think about it and you're like, oh, no, that's...
Not hilarious. Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
And like that, okay,
keep happening when you
this
sleep.
is a really weird area of house MD, but it's a real condition.
Okay.
It's where people, ostensibly you'd say there are very few people, very, very, so rare, and they don't feel pain.
Seen
And
this episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what that kind of, from what I recall, what it also means is they don't feel the urge to go to the bathroom. Like, as in they just
Interesting.
need to time it and
Oh.
go. And then there's also the extreme risk of, because we feel pain because our bodies tell us
something's
wrong.
tell us something's wrong,
Yeah.
and they'll never know what anything. They wouldn't know if they had internal bleeding unless
Yeah.
things really started changing. So it's sort of a miserable
Yeah.
life of always having to check your body.
Like
Yeah.
visually,
Yeah. But at first glance, you're like invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember specifically, like a really specific scene from that episode
Yeah.
where they're testing her. She's a young girl, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about this
Yeah.
because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And they put her hand in a jar of boiling water and she doesn't take her hand out. And
yeah.
it like gives her 3rd-degree burns because she doesn't take her hand out and they're like all having an
It's
argument.
not... I think they should be removed from the medical board.
Welcome to
Maybe.
House MD.
I've only ever seen the first season. Did they really stick her hand in the...
Well,
Yeah,
the
it was
doctors.
like really hot water.
part of
It
the
might
plot
have been-
line was that she was refusing to admit that she had it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think it was almost trickery. Like, well, guess what? This whole time I've put your hand in
Whoosh.
in boiling water.
No.
And you didn't notice. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was whack.
So it's not just they don't feel pain, they don't feel anything.
I don't know if they. Surely that means that they wouldn't feel good stuff.
Right, because like
You'd
you'd
think
feel
so.
your hand going into water.
Yeah.
Or
'Cause that's not painful.
Maybe there is something about pain. I don't know that can distinguish from other sensory perception. But yeah, it was sort of like technically it could happen. It happened. I think it is a real thing.
Do you reckon it's a...
I'm pretty sure it is.
This is an easier question for Google. Do you think it's a like nerve issue or like a mental thing?
I would have to say it'd be a nerve
Ooh.
issue.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Maybe both. Yeah, I don't know. You would think it would be a nerve issue if you like physically, like if your body is getting so hurt that you've got a massive burn or like
Right.
internal bleeding, you're at risk of dying. Like you'd think that your brain, no matter what your trauma or whatever was that was creating the block, would probably be like, actually, now we need to know because we're at risk of death. You know.
Yeah.
So you'd think it would be an
Right.
actual like physical nerve issue. I can't.
Interesting.
Not a doctor.
I had to stop watching medical shows and
Yeah.
a lot of like lawyer shows and firefighting shows and stuff because every time I watched a new one, I'd want to go into that career.
Oh wow.
I have a very obsessive personality with pop culture, which is why I have so fucking much pop culture knowledge.
Yeah.
Literally. And
Yeah.
well, I think I was watching The Good Wife or something. And I was like, Maddie, do you think I could be a lawyer?
Oh.
And then we started watching 911. Maddie, do you think I could be a firefighter?
Honestly, my
I'm like,
mum talks
no.
about that all the
I have
time.
I have no reason to.
Oh.
No, my mum talks about that. You said that to her once, and she talks about it all the time. She's like, anyway, do you remember that time Nick said this? And she'll use it as an example. She'll be like, anyway, that's what you're doing right now.
Micro obsessions.
Yeah.
It only lasts for like 2 days.
This is a beautiful point. So I arrived here today wanting to ask you this question, and if anyone's listening to this, get in touch and tell me what you think. Okay, because I'm doing a bit of not a survey, but I need to gauge whether this thing that I'm about to mention is a thing.
Okay.
Because I think my hit rate is 50% so far, and it
Okay.
relates to mums and diagnoses.
Okay.
So you're a kid, you are, somewhere between, 4 and 9 or 10 years old. You complain to mum that you're feeling sick, and you genuinely are feeling
Yeah.
sick. So you're in bed. Mum comes down and sits, scooches up to you next to bed, feels your forehead, and then does she ask you multiple questions about poo, when you last pooed, and can you do a poo for me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, but she doesn't ask me to do one.
Oh.
It was like, when's the last time you pooped?
Yeah.
What colour was it?
Yeah, what colour was it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because my mum would be like, "Oh, it hurts when I swallow." And she'd be like, "Sometimes that's just the body telling you that you need to have a poo."
Iconic. Oh my
That's,
god, I love that.
Yeah, no, but,
And it'd be like, "Mum, my head hurts so much," and she'd be sort of, rubbing my knee, being like, "Oh, sweetheart, you do me a favor, will you sit on the toilet for me to see if you need to, if it's a poo thing?"
sits on the toilet, vomits.
Yeah. It's a mouth poo.
Interesting.
Okay, so
my
we got
mum
it
was like
again.
that, but with, like, she blamed every sickness on just needing to poo.
Yeah.
Right. My mum was like that, but with going for a walk.
Whoa.
It'd be, Mum, I have a headache. Go for a walk. The fresh air will do better. And Mum, I feel like I'm going to diarrhea everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Walk it
I
off.
just need to go outside.
Iconic. My mum definitely so many
Yeah.
poo questions, but
Yeah.
she always, like, I would say a solid 80% of the time
Yeah.
diagnoses an issue as worms.
Oh, worms.
Yeah, again, potentially because we grew up on a farm, but
I remember taking,
Worm
because they
tablets.
do cheeky chocolate,
Yeah.
right?
she still makes ours like every 6 months. She's like, "Okay, it's
I
worm
kid you
tablet
not.
time."
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I was at the chemist with my mum. Oh, no, it wasn't. I just scratched that. I was at the vet with my mum and my dog.
Wildly
And she
different
has to start.
scenario.
Well, I was like, worming, but that would be the chemist? No. It was the vet. It's a new puppy, so we're doing the worming and stuff. And mum was like, remember we used
Deworming, I'm assuming.
shoving worms
Get
in.
worms in there.
Tapeworm weight loss.
Yeah, no, deworming.
Yeah.
And mum was like, do you remember when we used to have to do that? Dad and I would have the tablets and you and Rianne would have the chocolate,
Oh,
the
okay.
deworming chocolate. I was like, yeah, I do remember that.
Wait, why
Are we still meant to be doing that?
Why are we not doing them anymore?
Well, that was my question to you.
I'm still doing it.
Should we be...
If you have a dog, it would be my... Well, because dogs are more likely to get worms and they pass it on to you. So I have terrible knowledge of this.
And maybe if they're
Particularly if you cuddle them a lot. Or
So
if
should
they're
we
in your
still
bed.
be deworming?
Yes. You don't
Can we
stop
still
getting
have it in
worms.
chocolate form?
I do, personally, yeah. You just have to have more.
That's also probably a question for Google.
The answer will be yes.
I
Adults
think
can
it's
get
also
worms.
maybe because kids are disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really true.
Maybe if you have kids, you need to do it. Maybe.
Well, I mean, it's generally very difficult to get worms unless you are in close contact with, e.g., animals.
yeah.
So if you don't have any animals, I would say don't worry about it. But if you do, then it's a more likely.
Oh my god, the look on your face.
It's no.
No,
Not unless
there's an issue.
your kid or pet has a deworming issue. Then it's yes for like a month.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, we're learning
and
about
if
worms.
it's
If you're pregnant.
pregnant.
Whack. Interesting. Maybe because it's like dangerous to lay baby.
Well, I mean, if a worm gets into your baby,
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
it's going to be a
bad.
fucking alien.
Yeah.
Liz is like,
The things you can't do when you're pregnant. Like
Eat
I was
cheese.
crazy old when I learned that you couldn't do soft cheeses and deli meats.
yeah.
I was like,
Deli meats.
something about meats.
No, I believe you, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently learnt about sushi, but I think
Yeah.
that's because of the raw meat type situation.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
And I was like, I thought it was just maybe, alcohol, caffeine and everything.
Yeah.
But man, there's a lot.
There is a lot.
Like 6 different types of worms, guys. I'm well,
Yeah, there's a lot. There's or like and
might
like
fuck around and
apparently
take
you're
some
not supposed
deworming
to
tablets.
Yeah.
dye your hair in the first trimester and stuff. Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, I had a friend cancel her a bachelorette party activity, which is massages. I didn't know massages were you either can't have them or need to have a special pregnancy massage.
Interesting.
I do. It's only the hands and feet, I think.
that you're allowed to have.
Yeah. I guess anything on the back might affect.
Yeah, I can. I feel like when you've got like, if you're thinking early stages of pregnancy, I can see how it's kind of like, you need to take extra care to make sure nothing goes wrong, and then as soon as you start to like, actually, show, it's probably a bit like, oh,
Fight for yourself.
you don't want to lay on your belly anyway.
For pop culture stuff, I reckon a heartwarming thing that I think we'd all remember is the way 90s sitcoms just gave no shits about if one of their stars was pregnant. It's like, you're carrying a bag for this season and we don't give a shit. And my favourite one was Cece from The Nanny.
Okay.
At one point, she was pregnant for most of a season and she's she's carrying a big bag around.
Iconic.
And the only time they did address it is making jokes. Like they were very self-referential. Whereas I think nowadays it's like, we are going to either write it in that they're pregnant, or we are going to
green screen.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
did that
with Wonder Woman.
Gal
okay.
Gadot, yeah.
Well, that's high tech, or even just we will arrange filming as such.
Yes.
Whereas I think in a lot of 90s sitcoms, like, you're pregnant. Okay.
Only face up
Whatever.
shots, like shoulder up.
Yeah.
Whatever. Your character's got a big belly now.
Yeah.
My favorite thing with the pregnant character in the 90s was Phoebe in Friends, and they just like made her have her brother's surrogate child. I was like, okay.
And that was just a big fake belly, right? She was
She was actually pregnant.
Lisa
I think.
Kudrow was pregnant.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why it was really abrupt. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm shows these days definitely just write it into the character or find a way to film
around it.
Film without the actor.
Yeah.
But I that makes me like sad of the days when sitcoms were just stupid.
Yeah.
Like I miss that. They're all so serious now.
I heard it's a really great take the other day, and it was so apparently these days where certain folk are not returning to TV series for the filming of the next season, and they're saying they've maybe parted ways for either creative differences or schedule conflict. And my understanding is that, reading between the lines, it's their way of saying they didn't want to get the jab.
Right.
To come back.
Yes.
Certain maybe there's certain. Just people who have decided I'm not going to do it, and production companies saying that's a prerequisite for coming on set. And I think the hot take I heard was something like, anyone who is seeing those circumstances, their character has to have died from COVID.
Iconic.
Even if COVID's not addressed in the show. That's so funny. I love that.
I'll have to find out who it was and credit them or something, because I was just like, brilliant. Yeah,
I love that. Do that with Letitia Wright's character in Black Panther 2.
Yeah, God.
Wait, that's not. Is that? Who is she?
She's the sister.
Sure.
Yeah, the really cool kick-ass sister. And is
Yeah.
that a thing? Has she not come back, or what? Or is she
she's
going to be?
just really anti-vax.
Is she really?
Yeah. She's
okay.
very into conspiracy theories and stuff. And
okay.
no, so they actually wrote her to be the main character of the sequel.
And she would have done a great job.
Yeah.
If she wasn't.
Well, and they filmed half the film. And then she actually got an onset injury, so she had to take 6 months off to heal.
Wow.
So they filmed what they could without her.
Yeah.
And in January, they were meant to pick back up and film everything.
January 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 22.
As in?
Next year. They're meant to pick up in January.
Oh, okay.
Coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just wrapped what they could without her.
Uh-huh.
And in that 6 month period where she was healing from her injury.
She had a little too much time on the internet.
Well, yes, but also new mandates came in.
Yeah.
So in America, you're just not allowed into America if you haven't been vaccinated. And they're like, all our sets are in Atlanta, Georgia. And all our filming is in America.
Yeah.
And we can't get our main star to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And we also can't get her into the country.
Wait, is she British?
She's British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Wow, it'll be interesting.
that's the current issue with Marvel.
Interesting.
Who was it? There was one on Broadway, Lauren someone. She's refusing to get vaccinated, which is especially troubling because of the whole, live audience of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Broadway, oh, man. Live theatre, Spit City. like singing. And yeah.
Interesting. That's so true.
Sweaty ass, microphones. And, yeah.
I love it. I don't love it. You know what I mean. Anyway, we should probably wrap up now.
Yeah, wow, whack. Yeah, we
by
should.
doing our What the Fuck of the Weeks.
Yes, okay. Nicholas, you start.
So What the Fuck of the Weeks are basically
Oh,
just
fuck. Now I have to think of another one.
something that is either confusing us or annoying us or angering us in society, culture, pop culture, a movie you watch, a show you watch.
I'm going to look at my...
Literally anything, a song you listen to that has
I'm
a bad
going to look
lyric.
at my phone. Usually I if there's something that's what the fuck, I take a picture of. So I'm looking through
Iconic.
it now just to
Love
see
that. All right. Well,
for when it's my turn.
You'll be last anyway, so you got a few minutes to think.
Okay.
Nicholas?
I have a very specific what the fuck of the week.
Okay.
My what the fuck of the week this week is minutes.
Okay.
Minutes are comprised of 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's a weird number.
Right?
Yeah.
Why is everything else in lots of 100, but a minute is in 60 seconds? And I know that there's like a logical Mayan calendar, ancient times answer. But just being stupid for a second, like a meter is 100 centimeters.
Which
kilo?
has more? So 60 can be divisible by 4, 15 to 30.
You lost me at the second
20.
number.
Yeah. But then again, 100 is divisible by what? 2, 50, 10. Is that it?
I don't know.
Or and sorry, like
I don't do
and 20. Maybe it's that.
Well, I mean, I know the reason why we have the calendar the way we do in terms of the way it rotates around. That was actually Julius Caesar who brought that in, the way that we have our calendar.
After he invented the Caesar salad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And he also invented, actually, the leap year so that they could, because without that date, like that resets the way that we're revolving around the sun, because
because we got it just
technically
correct.
wrong. Yeah.
So it wasn't because he had a passion for ballet?
No, we're not at all.
Anyway, my pitch
so
is...
I feel like it has to have something to do with the maths of it all, but
My pitch is rewrite history and
change where
put a
we
disclaimer
are now.
in front of it and say minutes should be 100 seconds.
I'm not opposed. It is weird.
Okay.
Imagine changing time.
Do you know why I think the only time that people like us have thought of that? You go to a microwave and you put in 1, 0, 0. That motherfucker's going to go for 60 seconds.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's just like every other measurement metric is in hundreds, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It is a bit weird.
And then I look at a clock and I'm like, well, trying to be quirky and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's my what the fuck of the week.
Okay.
Is it too much to ask?
Concept of time.
Right?
It's just...
Is it too much to ask for everyone on Earth to change? For me?
I'm going to say yes, and that's for a very specific reason, which is
Rude.
America refusing to change from Fahrenheit
Right, imperial.
Yeah. What are they?
and the imperial system.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's the only reason why.
So fucking stupid. You watch an American show and they're like, it's 12 yards, 5 feet, and 3 inches, and it's like that's 3 and 3/4 inches.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you have to break it into quarters, maybe it's too large of a measurement.
Sometimes when you're speaking with Americans and they think they're giving you information, but they're not.
Yeah.
And you'll understand what I mean. You say, what grade were you in? And they'll be like, I was a freshman. What the fuck?
You'd think freshman is the first.
Is that the first one?
But it's
you're
not,
fresh?
is it?
I don't think
No,
so.
it is.
Sophomore.
It's the first.
No, that's a sophomore.
No, it's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Okay, I just like, just give me a number, man.
Yeah.
Truly.
Tell me a number, and that's it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. No, you're what the fuck of the week, Maddie?
Well, it's actually inspired by that, what we were just discussing, and there's no further backstory, which is I think it's really weird that kids start school at a different age in Queensland and New South Wales. That's bizarre. What's up with that?
Why isn't there a national standard?
Yeah, it's so weird because you guys graduate a year earlier than we did in New South Wales. Chelsea is 3 months older than my brother, and he's 18. He's 18
That was so
months younger than me.
She's a year older than
Mackenzie.
me, but we were in the same.
Yeah, because
University.
I remember
Chelsea's our friend,
that
yeah.
at school is the Queenslanders are always it's only the year that they've turned 17, whereas for when the Southern State kids come up, it's the year that they have mostly all turned 18.
Yeah. The first year of university for Queenslanders, they can't drink, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, anyway, that's weird.
That is weird, especially just for. I guess especially university.
Yeah.
Because kids go to university everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
As in, like,
It's bizarre.
they mix and
It's
match around the
standardized.
states and shit. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why wouldn't I mean, I guess it's just a year. It doesn't actually.
Yeah, but also why?
Although, wouldn't we be learning differently? Like, wouldn't we be just a little more stupid in Queensland?
Well, see, I think it's really, again, this was brought up because Chelsea.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with it.
Oh, it's because you're Australian.
Of course, you're Australian.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
We were talking about Chelsea. Mm-hmm. She was the same year at university as us. I'm 24. She's just turned 22. Mm-hmm. And we were talking generally about what she's doing at the moment, me and my mum, about what she's doing at the moment. I was like, oh, well, she's 2 years younger than me. So, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's we've had the same, like, life experiences because we have gone through university the same. We've started the same. But she's still 2 whole years younger than me. It's weird.
I'm only 6 months younger than you.
Yeah. Chelsea's, I think she's 18 months younger than me.
So you're telling me you're a liar?
Yes, I am.
No, yeah. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. Okay, anyway.
We had such boring what the fuck of the weeks this week.
Yeah. I
At
could
least
talk
I
about
wanted
Nigel.
to change time.
Concept of time.
You're just like talking laws. I'm talking laws of space and time.
Yeah, it's true.
The 4th dimension.
All right, I've got a what the fuck of the week.
Okay,
bring
go.
it.
Saturday night, went with my lovely friend Belinda to the Christmas markets that they hold every year at Milton.
Okay.
Beautiful stalls. There's artwork, earrings and jewellery, toys, and everyone brought their beautiful pups for the night out.
Lovely.
So many pups on leashes. It was a really family fun time. And one side of the markets, there were some stalls. You've got artwork, candles, jerky. Then there was a stall where there was just a big billboard that said, "We are all suffering from COVID-19 because of the Chinese Communist Party."
Stop it!
And then some more candles.
Stop it!
Stop.
No fucking way!
Imagine being that pressed about being...
Wait, was that a stall? Had that?
Yeah. That was their I think they were even there last year as well. There's just a big thing. They want to sign people. They're like, we're gathering a list of names of people who are critical of the Chinese Communist Party.
For what?
Like, absolutely not. Am I like?
Also, why would you voice that?
But I mean, and I think, this is probably an area of politics that you probably don't want to get into in podcasts. Like, there's a lot of critique that can be given to the Chinese Communist Party, but they're like, you know where we need to, you know what the front line of this is? It's the Milton Christmas market, and we're gonna get him.
The most wonderful time of year.
But, big billboard.
That's crazy.
So you buy.
There's literally a rainbow crafting tent next to it.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
Buy your jerky.
The Chinese Communist Party. Sign the petition to help end CCP.
Yeah.
What?
Fuck me. Wow.
Yeah, so you buy your beef jerky, you buy your print of a galah, you
sign up to have Chinese spies outside your house.
For what exactly?
You add your name to the list of people who agree that the Chinese Communist Party is causing us all to suffer from COVID-19.
Oh my God, fuck me.
Then you get a slushie.
There's so much to unpack there.
That was a great what the fuck. Just throwing that out
That
there. Wow. That's
Yeah.
That's really surprising to me, actually. I've been to the Milton Markets before. I've had a stall there, and there's like a pretty rigorous like approval process. So that's like a bit crazy to me that they were like, "Yeah, we'll have you there."
Yeah,
The event organizers
something?
like, we thought they were just pillowcases.
CCP? What?
Yeah.
You didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
That is wild.
That's wild.
I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough to completely unpack that.
In my mind, I'm like, wow, people are not in the space the mental space to discuss this with you. They've got like a satay, like kebab stick.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny.
The spiral potatoes.
Yeah, they've got this spiral potato.
Okay. Potentially.
Pointing to different points about the Chinese Communist Party.
Anyway,
Were the people who had the stall white?
I don't No, I don't see a race. Based on this picture I have on my phone, there was a variety of people of different, appearing to be of different ethnicities.
That was a very loaded question.
Well, I feel like this again, a potentially loaded statement, but depending on what race they are, I feel like it can give a pretty good motivator of why they're there.
Yeah.
Whack, truly whack.
But
that blows my mind, honestly.
I know, and I was trying to process that. I was like, but what way do they mean this?
Yeah.
But I think we're all on the... I think the first one that comes to mind is the right way to take it.
I mean, even just the idea of like putting your name down, not to sound like, a conspiracy theorist, but the idea of putting your name down, like actually vocally being like down with the Chinese Communist Party seems just a little bit scary.
It is just like, oh, I'm sorry, but I don't. But and that sucks as well, because I think if they had just a list of people who think that there are discussions to be had, 100%.
Yeah.
But I was like, I came here because the
Christmas presents.
Yeah,
Dutch pancakes.
I have just bought some nice garlic balsamic. Wow.
And putting your info down, it's like, at worst, you're putting your name down to be surveilled by the Chinese government.
Literally.
At best, you're putting your name down for a telemarketing scheme.
Yeah.
Truth. It's some kind of right-wing, like, MLM.
Or even they're just going to sell your info to, like...
China.
Well, okay, full circle. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, they're going to sell it. Yeah.
Idea for the three of us. Okay, we are going to go to China, and we are going to find where the central government complex.
Okay.
And start selling our candles.
I had no idea where that was going. I was like, we are going on a ride right now.
We're flipping it. And
no, I'm into that. I'm into that.
And now I want to sell you these.
Everyone will be so confused, including us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say only the three of us will be the only people on the entire planet.
If people are confused, it'll be like, and now you know how I feel.
Yeah. Sends the photo to these people.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to say we should rent a stall and put up an anti-vaxxer billboard that says, put your name down to fight against vaccines.
Yeah.
And then we just sell all their information to telemarketers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Whack. Wow. Okay. What an ending.
What are your thoughts? Send us your thoughts on...
The CCP.
Send us. Hold on, I'll do. Send us your critique of the Chinese Communist Party, along with your name and address, and we'll publish it on the website.
In the description box.
Yeah, no, actually, make a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and in the comment section, provide all that info.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Perfect. Good one, guys.
Okay. Lovely.
Wow,
on that confusing note, we shall wrap up. Yeah. Liz, do you have anything to plug? Any socials?
Oh, yeah, well, follow me on TikTok. I'm BRISBURNED. I am far too deep into this business to consider having a stage name. So because I'm committed. Can't unring a bell. So Liz Talbot is who I am, and it's who I'll be at work and on stage. Apparently, so here I go.
Okay, yeah.
So if you Google Liz Talbot, you'll get a bunch of... there's a woman in the US who writes a bunch of sexy mystery novels about a girl by the name of Liz Talbot who solves crimes with the ghost of her best friend.
Whack.
Dream job.
Yeah, exactly. So scroll past all of that and then you'll find me. But there's current litigation going because of her... taking my life story without seeking my permission. But
you're like, sorry, I went this whole hour and a half. Did I introduce you to my best friend sitting next to me?
I'm not gonna lie. I just typed in Liz Talbot, and the first thing that comes up is in the Google search. Google search is Liz Talbot Brisbane. So
good.
People know how to search for you. Yeah,
Or your phone just knows you're in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Are you a branch manager at GE Capital?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
You could have just doxed her.
Oh, sorry.
Is this your
Witness
address?
protection.
Did you sign a petition recently?
Okay, well, my apologies to Elizabeth Talbot, the branch manager at GE Capital.
Excited. Do you have any more live shows coming up?
I don't believe I do in 2021. Next year, though, we'll hit the ground running. Like Brisbane in particular was hit a lot. So 2020, the run was interrupted by COVID. Life was interrupted by COVID. 2021, scheduled for August, got one show in, delayed, start up again November. So we just want to get through a run.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I didn't even get to ask about Brisbane.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. How many members? How many people?
Well, there's people there are some people who come and go.
Okay.
So a few of us have, I only joined last year. It's
Really?
led by only in 2020. It's led by Mark Lombard. It usually has, like, just to give one example, Mikey Griffin, who's a fantastic writer and performer. He's also, I think, in terms of like a technical profession, an editor. So he worked originally on Bluey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, but this year he was down in Sydney doing some editing for a new, I think, the Amazon sketch show, Moth Effect.
Yeah.
He was editing that as well, so he couldn't
lovely.
join in the show. But man, that's the one thing I sort of lean on to get street cred, especially with anyone who has kids. It's like Mikey, he's responsible for Bluey.
Iconic. Not even your own thing. It's like someone I know.
Someone I know
used to do this.
But it's no longer involved with Bluey. Yeah.
Love that, honestly.
Wild.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else going on. I'm just pottering about for the end of the year. But if you'd like to watch that, follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, I was going to say, we'll have to go next year. Early next year.
Please.
Oh,
Because
love to.
I kid you not, it must have been before the August dates. I literally had a tab on my phone open,
Yeah?
ready to be like, Maddie, you got a book?
Yeah.
And then, as Maddie knows,
Yeah.
I deleted my entire tabs because
How many did you have?
I hit the limit.
There's a limit?
There's a limit.
So are we talking maybe 999?
It's $499.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a choice. Now I have a respectable 26 tabs open. And let's keep it at that.
Well, we'll see.
I feel like you're just going to bully me for the rest of my life about my tabs. Anyway.
I have more tabs open than you now, so.
Yeah, but they're all fan fiction.
What were yours?
Everything.
Yours were all
My
fan fiction.
entire life. Movies and shows I needed to catch up on and watch. Anyway, Maddie, socials.
Yeah, Lady Alice 101, Instagram,
Twitter.
TikTok,
YouTube.
Harness Creation, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Internet.
Yeah.
And Prop HQ.
Oh, fuck. And Prop HQ, also the same old things, basically.
If you want to follow the podcast, you can at Instagram and Twitter and YouTube at WTFIH Podcast. As usual, all the links are down below. All Liz's links are down below.
Yeet.
And if you want to follow me, and I see...
Did I just say yeet?
And I see _sushi on Twitter and TikTok. Because you're apparently back in 2012.
I know, fuck
First
me.
you're saying neck minute, now you're saying yeet.
I know, it's all bad.
To unpack.
2012. I was about
Fine.
to sign off with either something about Coney. Wait, when were we all doing the Ice Bucket Challenge?
I'm not,
It was 2013.
I think,
Okay.
yeah, about then too.
I think.
I
I did that.
Plank-
I can't believe I
planking?
did that.
We're all planking.
Planking.
Go to the website where
Yeah.
we got our plank videos. Parkour.
We're all getting scared by killer
Parkour.
clowns.
Yeah.
Remember when there was killer clowns roaming around?
Yeah,
like,
in like 2016.
genuinely trying to kill people?
In America, yeah, that was whack. Okay, well, let's sign
Yeah.
off. Bye.
Anyway, Liz, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Taking
Thank you.
Amazing.
A long time out of your day.
I know, goodness. So sorry.
And for your great answers.
Oh,
yeah, thought for break. Thought. thought provoking. Fuck me. I can't speak. Oh God.
Well,
Yeah, you guys are going to record 4 more podcasts.
Today.
By the end of the night, you're going to be like,
Actually, you know what? We should do a marathon podcast.
No.
When we hit 100, we'll do a 24-hour live stream or something. You know what we should do? We should go for the world record for longest live podcast ever.
Like in iCarly.
Yeah, the web show one, yeah. Wow. I think we can do it. Okay.
All right.
That's a good
we'll do
concept,
it.
actually.
I know, thank you.
Marketing genius.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening.
So what the fuck is happening? The podcast.
Stunning.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.